And the first couple episodes are kind of fun to watch to see how, hey, this is the way that Korean courts work and that sort of thing. And it's got humor in it, as most Korean shows do, and the first few episodes seem to have. But then it moves on to, I got to say, by episode 4 or 5, it starts getting really kind of heavy-handed on social justice issues, which aren't exactly as far pushed as ours. We're talking, social justice issues as in women being harassed in the workplace. So, let's see what we can do here. This is queued up to a section where this lady here is the brand new judge. Now, Koreans don't have juries, as best I can tell. They have a 3-judge panel that sits up and makes all judgments, right? Now, I don't know if the 3-judge panel, if it's the guy in the center who is the senior judge who actually makes decisions, or if it's a group thing or they do it by majority vote. I suspect even if it was a group thing, as very senior-centric as Korea is, or seniority-centric, however you want to state it, that the guy in the center, who's the senior guy, would probably make most of the decisions anyway. But I'm not sure exactly how that plays out. But she's the brand new judge. And the guy who she's talking to is a judge who's been around for a while, but he's not the senior judge, right? So he's about to show her around the courthouse, and a lot of this looked pretty doggone familiar. So here we go.
그래도 오늘은 첫날이니 법원을 한번 돌아봅시다.
법원 투어요? 고맙습니다.
고마울 거 없어요. 그리 아름다운 투어 나눌 테니까. 여기 장애인 주차구역입니다. 얼른 빠지세요.
뭐야? 야, 나 재판도 주면 네가 책임질 거야? 어?
일 소환장에 주차 공간 협소하니 대중교통 이용해달라고 쓰여 있지 말입니다.
국민의 열수로 밥얻어 먹는 공무원 놈들이 대중교통을 이용해야지. 가서 판사들 차부터 답해.
지금 시대가 어떤 시대인데 공무원이 이렇게 불친절해? 청와대에 진정할 거야.
죄송하지만 신청서는 다른 사람이 대신 작성하지 못하게 돼 있어요.
앞에 작성 요령하고 수식 다 준비되어 있으니까 그대로 작성하시면 됩니다.
국민 혈세로 월.
I've seen this conversation at clerks' offices before. You evil clerks, why won't you do all this paperwork and legal work for me? You should do this. I pay for your salary with my taxes, right? Although quite often the person who's making that claim probably isn't paying many taxes, if any at all. Well, you can't get around sales taxes, right? But, yeah, seen this argument more than once. God bless the clerks. Sometimes their life's a little bit interesting.
받으면서 이런 거 하나 못 해줘? 구청에서는 해주더만. 하여튼 법원이 문제야 문제. 너 사법개혁 해야 된다니까. 우리가 낸 세금 가지고 당신네들 월급 받잖아. 이런 간단한 소리 하나 못 해주냐고.
피고인, 탈세한 수법도 안 좋고 금액도 적지 않네요.
그것이 그러니까 조세범 처벌법 위반. 일상 세금이라곤 부가세 말고는 낸 적이 없는 인간이네요.
피고인에게 징역 1년을 선고하고 피고인을 법정 구속합니다.
억울합니다, 판사님. 예, 판사님. 아니 내 차를 어떻게 할 건데? 그게 돈 얼마짜린데?
차라도 세금을 준다 오면 좋겠는데 남의 명의로 돌려놨겠죠. 법정 구속된 피고인들 몰고 온 차 치우는 것도 이릅니다. 이번엔 민사 재판을 볼까요?
Wow. Not paying taxes, got a year in jail. Of course, he hadn't paid taxes his entire life. I can see that. Interesting.
또 증인은 피고는 매명 인감 증명서를 발급받았죠.
네, 피고가 법무사 사무실에서 인감 도장 찍은 게 틀림없습니다.
증인, 열심히 외워온 정성은 대단한데 아까 한 문장씩 밀려서.
That's a little straightforward. Hey, it's great that you've memorized your testimony. Just, you're off by a question. So get yourself back on track. so that we've got the right question, right answers.
대답하고 있습니다. 지금 9번 질문하고 있는데 10번 질문에 대한 대답을 미리 하고 있어요. 그리고 황말동 변호사님, 이거 증인 신문사항 직접 작성한 거 맞습니까?
네.
사무장한테 한 문장의 주어는 하나만 쓰라고 전해주세요.
민사재판이란 거짓말 올림픽입니다. 정 많은 한국인들은 가까운 사람 부탁이면 아무 제의식 없이 위증을 잘 도와줘.
Ooh, ouch. Well, it ain't just civil cases where they perjure themselves without much of a thought. Let's be honest about that. At least not in the States. Maybe in Korea, whenever it's a criminal case, everybody's straight and narrow.
그래도 민사재판은 힐링입니다. 형사재판하던 작년 1년 동안 거의 매일 온갖 살인범, 강간범, 사기꾼들을 본 거에 비하면 이제 생전 연락 없던 친척이나 친구들이 갑자기 전화할 겁니다. 이것 때문에 전화한 건 아닌데 그럼 바로 그것 때문에 전화한 거죠. 점점 전화도 안 받게 됩니다. 사람도 안 만나게 되고. 우리 일은 그런 일입니다. 인간의 고운 겉모습이 아니라 흉측한 뱃속 오장육부를 날 것으로 들여다보는 일. 마음의 준비를 해주세요.
Well, that ain't necessarily too wrong. Yeah, you don't see the exterior. You're supposed to see the interior, what's wrong with people, but yeah, sometimes you don't. Okay, so I got to say, this Miss Hammurabi show I watched, the first episode's kind of fun because this lady right here is, she's the young fireball who's all about saving the world and all that sort of stuff, right? And we start out with her confronting something that apparently is a big issue over in Korea and other places where they ride a lot of subways and guys feel, they're much more of a passive type of society, I guess. And guys feel just fine reaching down and grabbing women on the rear. And she confronts some guy who was doing that, and he tries to grab her phone because she videoed it, and she kicks him in the nads. And of course, somebody videoed that. That makes the rounds. Here's a judge kicking a guy in the nads, right? And she meets this other guy who was just walking her around, was on the same subway train with her, and they figure out that they went to school together, high school together, and then obviously divergent paths from there, but they went to high school together, and looks like he had a monster crush on her in high school, whereas some of the scenes seem to indicate that she not so much with him, right? That maybe she passed some nasty rumors about him, not being able to deal with women or some such thing, right? The first episode's fun, right? Because you get to see what's going on in the courtrooms. Here's kind of a setup. Here's this and that. They do set up the guy is more cynical, although he definitely wants to stand by the law, right? He's about standing by the law, equal justice for everyone. If you put your thumb on the scales for one person, you have then discharged an evil event for another. So the first episode is really kind of interesting. I will probably come back and talk about the second episode and the third and fourth and all that in a further broadcast, but I just kind of wanted to show that one scene. And, I don't know if it's good to see that the same sort of things happen in courthouses everywhere, even Korea, but it is kind of fun to see it. And with that, I think I'm going to let y'all go. Until next time, masalama, y'all.